And welcome back. If you don't know what a tracker mortgage is, or you think investments are things that parish priests wear, then help is at hand.
Financial advisor Paul Merriman of askpaul.ie is with us this morning to go through as many of your financial queries as we can get through. We were inundated with questions once we put this shout out there, Paul. So we'll get straight to them. Question one, where to put the children's allowance? I would like to start putting away my children's allowance each month for the next 16 to 18 years. Can you please advise me what the best way to do this is? Savings account or invest?
100% invest. You couldn't be leaving money on deposit for that amount of time. You know, deposit rates and credit union accounts, and they're all practically 0% nowadays. So your money's literally going to be eaten away by inflation. So yeah, you need to invest it. Where to invest? Stocks and shares. If you go onto our Instagram or our website, you'll see we have the Ask Paul Investment Club, a strategy where I invest with clients on a monthly basis and show them what to do, what not to do, and how funds are performing. So it's brilliant. Yeah, so that's exactly where you need to go. It's that straightforward. And as well as that question they mentioned, the 16 to 18 years, loads of times to be invested in stocks and shares. As they will go up and down in value, but over the long term, you get a much better return there, typically speaking, than you would, on cash.
But there is an element of risk in those investments,
well,
right?
There's a risk. It goes up and down in value.
Yes.
You know, but these funds, the funds we invested in have never lost all their value. You know, so even in 2007, 2008, they would have went down substantially on the back of the financial crisis, but they would have rebounded fairly quickly as well a couple of years later. So you're looking for the fund we use is 30 years track record, and it has like an average of 11.4%, I think it is, over those 30 years per annum. Return. Like, it's just amazing.
So even though it's nice to see that money sitting in a credit union or a bank account, there's other better things you can do with it.
Especially for 16 to 18 years, you know. Now, if your child was maybe 3 or 4 years away from college, you mightn't do that strategy. Because you have a really short time frame. But for 16 to 18 years, I'm like going back and investing in anything 18 years ago, you'd be flying.
Very sensible thing to do, isn't it?
It is 100%, especially.
But it's also a luxury.
Yeah, it is. It is a luxury for many people out there. A lot of people do need the children's allowance. But if you're not and you're saving it anyway, you need to take it out of those accounts and put it into an investment account.
All right, next one's on mortgages. Should we switch to a fixed rate? We've been on a variable rate with Ulster Bank and would like advice about switching to a fixed rate. Is it better to fix for a long or medium term? We have quite a few years left on it. And also, will it affect us when they leave the Irish market?
OK, that's a great question, actually. The Ulster Bank leaving the Irish market, the same as what looks like was going to happen to KBC. When they leave, your mortgage is going to be transferred to another lender. So if you're on a fixed rate, you have nothing to worry about. That fixed rate will transfer it over to maybe Bank of Ireland or PTSB or wherever it's going to end up in. And that fixed rate will be honoured by the new bank until the term is up. But back to the first part of the question on the variable rates. Yes, variable rates are very high compared to fixed rates. So I would be fixing for a minimum, like at least 1 or 2 years. Ulster Bank are really good rate, around 2.3% as well, which will be way lower for the next 2 years than their variable rate. Now, the good question is, would you go longer now? You know, might interest rates might start to increase next year in the back of inflation. Obviously, it's a crystal ball, but I'd always said a minimum of 2 years. Now I'm kind of saying maybe 3 to 5 years on the back of what might happen with inflation over the next couple of years. So,
are they in negative interest rates at the moment? Is that
no. So deposit accounts are, if you're investing your money, if you're putting your money in deposit from a company point of view, that's getting negative interest rates over a million. But no, consumers aren't. And you never see negative interest rates on a mortgage. You'd wish that would happen. That'd be amazing. The bank be paying you for your mortgage.
So fix for around 3 years?
Fix around 3 years minimum,
Is ideal. OK. Should I switch my tracker mortgage? I have a tracker rate mortgage. Would you we would like to reduce the length of the mortgage. Would it be advisable to shop around or stick with the tracker?
Well, you could never switch a tracker because the tracker's going to mention Ulster Bank's 2.3%. Like you might have a tracker at 0.75 or 1.25 or something. So they're really low. You'd never switch a tracker mortgage. That's going back to the intro, actually. I don't know what a tracker mortgage is, but just never switch it.
Very famous.
It's the golden ticket, isn't it?
It's the golden ticket. Yeah, they're not there anymore for new customers. But I wouldn't switch it. Mention trying to clear the mortgage early. You can overpay the tracker mortgage if you wanted to get rid of your term quicker, to get out of your mortgage quicker. Or again, what I'd be considering as a financial plan there to maybe invest, save 200 or 300 quid extra a month. If you're paying that down at 0.75 or 1.25%, I'd rather see that money invested over the next 10, 15 years and then use that lump sum out of the investment account to clear the mortgage early. Because you're just paying back really cheap money, you know. So it wouldn't be. And as well as that, I'm not a big believer in giving the bank back money early anyway, because some people pay back the bank a bit early in the mortgage and then go back in and borrow for a car loan at 8% or 6% a few years later. So you should be always trying to keep yourself cash rich and access to cash during your mortgage there.
Okay, quick one on company pension plans. I'm 24, I've joined a startup. They're offering me a company pension plan. Should I get it, and what are my options?
Yeah, for 24, yeah, definitely. I mean, we said loads of times in this couch that, you know, the earlier you're in a pension, the better. As well, with a company pension plan, the company will most likely be contributing as well. So let's say it's 5% and 5%. So on their salary, the company will put 5 in and the employee puts 5 in. So they're getting a free 5 off for employer, and on their 5%, if it was 5%, they're getting tax relief, Aidan. So it's at 20% or 40% relief. So it's probably going to cost them pittance to get like a big lump sum into their pension over the next few years. So yeah, I would definitely get involved.
Why say no? Okay.
And just invested in equities. At 24, you want to be going for a high equity contented fund.
Okay.
Last bit of advice.
This last question, Paul, is a detailed one and maybe a little bit more complicated. Can capital gains be offset if we give money from the sale of a property to an offspring to get urgent specialist treatment abroad? Any advice on how to minimise that capital gains would be appreciated.
Okay, well, that's a tough one to hear because obviously someone needs medical treatment and you're only making the wrong financial decisions. You don't want to have a financial crisis in the middle of a health crisis either. So if that person wants to reach out to us through Instagram on the Ask Paul page, please do after today and we'll have a chat with them. But first of all, no, there's no way to offset the capital gains, but there's loads of things that could be done here. We could be transferring the property down to children and not have any capital gains or capital acquisition tax, which is like gift or inheritance tax, if it's under 335,000. And then depending on what the kid's situation is, they might be able to release equity from that property with a bank up to maybe €70,000. So, but I don't know how much they need, obviously, for the medical treatment abroad, but there's loads of things to do there. Like, it's a really complex question. But please, if you are watching, do reach out to us. We'd love to help you on that.
There is a solution.
There is a solution. There'll definitely be a plan to be put in place. Definitely, there's always a way, in my opinion, when it comes to this stuff.
Well, they'd be reassured to know that.
Yeah,
Paul, as always, thank you very much. Lots more questions next time again.
Thank you, Paul. Now stay with us. We've loads more coming up on Ireland AM after this break.